Welcome to this platform. In this video, let us answer this simple question from chemistry. So before we do so, please, if you've not subscribed to this YouTube channel, if you're watching this from YouTube, do not forget to subscribe. And if you're watching this or you are seeing this from TikTok, do not forget to give it a like. If you're watching this from Facebook, make sure to follow me. Let us go into the question now. The question reads, study figure B1.1 and table B1.1 below and answer the question that follows. Study figure B1.1 and table B1.1 below and answer the question that follows. So as you can see, this is figure B1.1. There's this part, there's this part, there's this part. And I'm sure by now something is coming in your mind. What part is this? So as you can see, these are states of matter: solid, liquid, and gas. You just need to identify which one is which. Now, this figure represents the changes of state. So we have the states of matter and of course the changes of state. So in the table B1.1, we have the common substances. If you're unable to see, this first part is aluminum oxide, This is copper 2 sulfate. This is ammonium chloride, iodide crystal. Then we have calcium hydroxide. Then we have water. These are the substances or common substances that are given in the table. The first question, that is A1, identify the process A in figure B1.1. Identify the process A. So the process A is right here. Now, if you look at the process A, now this you have to look at it very carefully because this one is solid and this one is liquid. But if you look at them, you might see as if the arrangement is just the same. You need to know the arrangement of particles in solid, and you need to know that they are arranged in a regular pattern and they are closely packed. Regular pattern, you can see they are in same line. That is what it means. Okay. Now, the liquid part, you can't see the spaces between, but of course you can see that the particles are not arranged in regular pattern. And from that you can draw the conclusion that actually, or this is liquid, this is gas. This is solid. So that is what you need to know. So sometimes the question or the diagram come as confusing as this. If you are not careful, you might miss it. Now back to the question. Identify the process A. Now when you look at the process A, is that a change of state? In other words, a direct change of state from solid to gas without passing through the liquid. And what we call that process? The process is called sublimation. So identify process A. This is sublimation, which is just a direct change of state from solid to gas without passing through liquid. A2, from table B1.1, identify two substances that can undergo process A. In other words, from the table, let us identify the two substances that undergo sublimation. So two of the substances that undergo sublimation here are these that you are seeing here. So we have iodine crystals, and ammonium chloride. These are the two substances that undergo sublimation. Very important. State whether process B and C are endothermic or exothermic. You are just stating whether they are endothermic or exothermic. But of course, you need to know what endothermic means and what exothermic means. So endothermic, we are just looking at the reaction that absorbs heat from the environment. So there's absorption of heat. It uses heat. Now, all the processes, such as the ones that move from solid to gas, from solid to liquid, all these are endothermic because, let's say, for example, melting. substance melt because the particles have received or have gained kinetic energy, and that is from the environment. So I guess you get an overview of this. So in other words, endothermic involves absorption of heat from the environment. Exothermic is the opposite, which is just loss of heat to the environment. So now if you look at process C right here, we are looking at the change. Follow the arrows. How do I know? There are arrows here. So we are looking at the change of state from liquid to solid. There's loss of heat. When you put, let's say, water into the fridge, it cools. Of course, it has lost the heat. So process C is exothermic. Where is process B? Process B here, we are looking at the change of state from liquid to gas, which is evaporation. So in that case, substances tend to evaporate because of the heat that it has absorbed, causing the particles to break away. All right, so in other words, process B, we can say process B is endothermic. Then process A is process C, please. Process C is exothermic. As simple as that. So that is what you needed to write. Now, what are some of the questions that you expect on this part? Maybe just to try to look at also some questions that you expect. So some of the questions that you expect is to describe the arrangement of particles in these states of matter, that is solid, liquid, and gas. Now, to start with the solid, particles in terms of arrangement, so particles are arranged in a regular pattern and they are closely packed. In other words, particles are closely packed and arranged in regular pattern. Then, of course, in a liquid, they are further apart, okay? But there are some spaces, that is small spaces between. Gases, particles, in terms of arrangement, they are far apart, or there is greater distances between the particles. In terms of movement, particles in solid vibrate within the fixed position. In liquids, particles vibrate within short distances, but in gas, the particles move randomly. The volume, in terms of volume, the particles, or in terms of volume, solid have fixed volume, liquids have fixed volume, gas, the volume depends on the condition. So those are some of the things that you might find. But of course, also maybe you can look at in terms of shape. Solid have fixed shape, liquid take the shape of the container, and gas, they do not have a shape at all. So those are some of the things also you expect. Otherwise, we can end here. And please, if you've not subscribed to this channel, make sure to do so. And also, if you are on TikTok, make sure that you you give it a like. All right. So the other thing is that we offer intensive online and physical lessons. So for online lessons, you can get in touch on the number 0976 402563. For physical lessons, we are found in Kabwata, that is Lusaka, just near Kabwata Primary School. If you stay in that area, please do visit us. Otherwise, we can end here and see you in